Welcome to the Midwest here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Game 1 of Week 2, Season 21 of the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. The Indianapolis Ramblers will play host to the Mexico City Aztecs. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody, alongside my quarterback and my good friend, Marcus Dunhill. I am Eric Vinson. We have Ramos Lind and Eddie Gage in the stats truck. Commissioner, executive producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine at SFL HQ. And Marcus, both of these teams had a tough showing in Week 1, and they're looking to rebound here in Week 2.
It's a new season. It's time for both teams to take a look at the film from last week, figure out what they did wrong, plan and execute. I'm expecting both these teams to bounce back in a big way today and put on a show.
And if you're curious about those uniforms that Indianapolis is wearing, those are the Winner's Circle uniforms that they are rocking today with those unique pants. Mexico City coming out in their usual clean white jersey green bottoms. And it'll be very, very interesting to see how these two teams respond following their Week 1 losses. Mexico City with a 24-point loss, and I won't even get into Indianapolis's loss there, the total point total.
I'm curious to see how these teams focus on their game plans, whether they focus on the air or the ground.
Well, Mexico City going to get their first crack at the football here to open up the ball game. And that is Jeffrey Daggs with the return up across the 20 to the 22-yard line, and that is where Jordan Sipe will take over his second season here in Mexico City.
I think Sipe in this game will have to focus on making sure he keeps the ball in his team's hands. A few too many interceptions put them in a hole last week.
Coming out under center. Sipe with a pitch play over to Bentley. Good spin move there. He's got open real estate here as he's still in bounds. No one bringing him down, and he's going to get a huge play on first down. That's just what the doctor ordered for Mexico City.
That was a great run. I really wasn't sure if that spin move was going to work. At first, I thought they were going to get him after the first spin, but he spun right through and then was able to find some yardage on the sideline for a fantastic gain.
So a 28-yard pickup there on the opening play of the ball game sets him up nicely at midfield with a fresh set of downs. Sipe still under center. He's got two receivers to work with, and Bentley in the backfield. Handoff goes to Bentley. Good stiff arm there. Gets out of the backfield and gets a few yards for his trouble there. We'll get a look at the Aztec offense. Jordan Sipe at quarterback, Phoenix Jones, Ray Bentley, the running back duo in Mexico City. Buford Van Dam rounds out the backfield. Jason Bartley, Nick Lockett, and Terrell Cooper are the wide receivers. Bill Henry and Devontae Richardson are the tight ends. Sitlamina Osidlotl at tackle, and Slatohani Supremo at guard as a pick is thrown there. Indianapolis going the other way as our first takeaway of the ball game is happening, and he's running down the field with a convoy. Ernest McCray Sr. is going to take this one to the house. Touchdown, Indy.
What a great play for Indianapolis. Was able to get ahead of the ball and pick it off. Unfortunately, that's kind of what hurt Mexico City last week, was too many interceptions and then playing from behind. But a fantastic job picking off the ball and then running straight back all the way to the end zone.
Had just enough speed to get all the way there. There really wasn't anyone there that could catch up to him. Just the big hefties, and McCray Sr. certainly with enough speed to get himself into the end zone, and he does. So a huge swing of momentum here for the hometown Ramblers as they come away with 6 points off of a pick six. Offense hasn't even hit the field yet, and Topher Kiefer is going to add his first extra point of the ball game. 7-0 now your score as the Ramblers strike first.
They were doing really well in the first couple plays with the running game and then tried to mix it up with the passing game, which is also a good idea, but I think Sipe just led his receiver a little too far.
So Kiefer will send this down to Jeffrey Daggs once again, who will take a knee in the end zone. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your play today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. So second possession now for Mexico City. Back to Ray Bentley, far sideline. He's getting close to first down yardage. He'll get a gain of 8 on first down, and we'll get a look at the Indy defense. Mac Dre, Butch Menor, Derek Genko along the front 4. Kenneth Gaston Jr. and Adam Wiseman, along with Noah Davis and Telemac Scarborough, the linebackers. Blake Prine, Angel Maldonado, Ernest McCray Sr., and Adam Knoll, the corners. Mike Ryan, Jack Russell, and Melodious Manning are the safeties. Hand off to Phoenix Jones this time, and he'll get first down yardage out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. First down.
Great blocking by the offensive line to get a hole for Phoenix Jones to make it through. So far, the Aztecs' running game is really on point. They're really going down and moving the chains with the football in the running game.
Four wide this time for Mexico City. Buford Van Dam is the only back in the backfield. Sipe will throw. He's going to pitch it over to Van Dam. Good stiff arm there as he's along the near sideline and will eventually step out of bounds close to the first down marker, gain of 7.
After an interception on the last drive, this is a really good play to build some confidence in your quarterback because he's built back up towards passing down the field. Because the running game is great, but they have to work out the kinks in the passing game for Mexico City to win this game.
A full backfield this time. Handoff goes to Jones. Follows his blockers ahead and will get to about midfield once again. And that was about where disaster struck on their last possession.
I'm impressed with the blocking at the line, giving great opportunities for the running backs to take advantage of.
First down from midfield. Sipe to throw. Through the air, catch is made. First down once again inside the 40 to near the 35-yard line, and that's Nick Lockett with his first catch.
You start knocking on the door of field goal range. This is exactly what Mexico City needs. They gave up that pick 6 at the start of the game. However, they can go down and build their confidence, tie the game, and then it's anybody's ball game at 7-7 if they can get into the end zone.
We'll see if they can keep the drive going here with this I formation. Sipe, quick throw, bobbled and incomplete. He was looking for Jason Bartley, but that came out just a little bit too hot there, Marcus.
Yep, I was about to say the exact same thing. I think there was a little too much heat on that football and just couldn't quite get his hands on it.
So now second down. Bartley goes in motion this time. Got 5 on the line for Indy. They'll send the blitz. Sipe with time in the pocket. Shuffles, going to fire it into coverage and another pick. Going back this way is Mike Ryan, the newcomer at safety from the Louisiana Revolution, and he makes his impact in week 2. And we've got 2 interceptions. There's a whole lot of 2s going on, Marcus.
The secondary for the Ramblers is really on point. They're definitely making Mexico City pay for going through the air and giving their team a great opportunity on offense now.
And as you pointed out, Marcus, it was tough taking care of the football for Jordan Sipe just a week ago against Fort Worth. 4 interceptions thrown, and he's already thrown 2 in 1 quarter. We're not even out of the first quarter yet, as Indy takes over for their first offensive possession. Colin Pierce at the helm. And handoff goes straight ahead for a gain of about 5 to Christian Pierce. As we'll get a look at the Indy offense, Colin Pierce, Christian Pierce, and Joel Harlem in the backfield there for the Ramblers. Rob Hunt, Jay Viper, Ryan Roosevelt, and Jeff Banfield, the wide receivers. Randy Pierce at tight end. Hadrian Marlowe and Chad Rowland, the tackles. Jimmy Hayes and Taylor Menor are the guards. High formation for Indy. Handoff goes straight up the middle. That's Chad Rowland at fullback there, and he'll get close to a first down. We saw that last week a little bit as he got a little bit of rushing yardage to his credit.
They're 3rd and 1. They're getting so close, and they're keeping it short yardage. They did such a good job running on the first 2 drives that they have a good opportunity here to pick up the first down and keep the drive going.
Mexico City anticipating the run. They'll get it. Pierce with the handoff, and it goes nowhere. So with 3 and out here for Indy, great stand for Mexico City to keep themselves in the ball game after their offense has been sputtering thus far.
That's exactly what they needed. They stepped up exactly when it mattered. The defensive line came in and would not let them get that first down. That's when you need to make plays on third down so you can get the ball back for your offense.
Hunt is away, fielded just shy of the 30-yard line. Dags breaks the tackle and gets across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. For all the league highlights, photo galleries, major and minor league stats and leaderboards, community content, and so much more, check out the league's website at simulationfl.net, presented by Football Shift. Stay up to date and explore our past, present, and future. So third possession now for Mexico City. 2 interceptions thus far, killed both of their promising drives. Going with 4 wide. Van Dam in the backfield. Sipe takes the snap, going to fire it into coverage again and incomplete. Looking for Nick Lockett, but there were a ton of black jerseys in the area, Marcus. Sipe is having a hard time deciding where he needs to throw the football.
Yep. I think he's playing a little bit too aggressively right now. There are a lot of black jerseys in the area. The Ramblers were all over the ball. He's just got to figure out some windows where he can fit in that football for his receivers to catch it.
Looking like same formation here as Bentley is lined out in the slot. Sipe again to throw, fires it, catch is made, near the first down marker by Bartley. In fact, they'll give him a first down off of forward progress.
That's great, because even if they hadn't gotten the first down, you saw how well the running game has been working so far for Mexico City. So they wanted to at least make sure they could get to the line so they could give their running backs a chance, but they were able to get over the marker and continue the drive.
Sticking with the same formation, it looks like. 4 down lineman for Indy. Sipe. Far sideline, catch made, first down. And that's going to be to Terrell Cooper. So trying to spread the football around to all of his weapons here, Marcus.
Yep, it's good for Sipe as long as he can make sure he puts the ball where his receivers can get them and not where the other defenders can get them. That was a great throw for his receiver, and I think he's starting to build confidence. You kind of take time in a new game against a defense you haven't played before to kind of feel them out, figure out where the ball can go and what you need to do to advance down the field, and I think Mexico City's slowly figuring it out.
Sipe again to throw, hit as he's thrown. Catch is still made by one of the linemen and falls forward. No, actually, that was Ray Bentley that made the catch. It gets a gain of 3 out of it. The ugly play, but hey, gain of 3 is certainly nothing to shake a stick at.
Yep. I always say if you can get 3 yards on every play, you'll go straight to the end zone every single time.
Offset eye this time for Mexico City. Indy showing blitz. We'll see if they send it here. They will not. Instead, it's a handoff, but good penetration by the defensive front there for Indy, led by Butch Menor, and that ends up being a gain of nothing.
This whole first quarter has been dominated in time of possession almost by the Aztecs. They have had 3 drives to Indianapolis's 1, and we're almost to the end of the first quarter.
Sipe 5 of 9 for 47 yards, 2 picks so far. Little play action there as he rolls out. Pressure coming from his backside, throws it across his body, catches May near the 20-yard line, as that was made by Terrell Cooper. So Mexico City is starting to get deeper and deeper into enemy territory.
I thought I saw somebody else that might have been open on the field, but Sipe saw a play across the field, which is a really hard throw to make. You know, if he had thrown that just a little too far, that might have gone to a rambler instead. But he knew exactly where to put the ball for his receiver and get them all the way down, almost to the red zone.
Yep, just outside the SFL red zone, 21-yard line. First down, Sipe to throw into traffic and incomplete. Bentley, the intended receiver, on the play, and it looks like Ray Bentley is a little bit slow to get up.
That's going to be hard on Mexico City. They have such a dynamic rushing game where they split the carries between Ray Bentley and Phoenix Jones that they might have to adapt a little bit, and I think Phoenix Jones is going to get a heavier burden of carriers depending on this injury, whether Bentley gets back in or not. You might see Phoenix Jones with more carries than normal.
We'll keep an eye out and see if the Hall of Famer gets back into the ball game. For now, it's going to be Phoenix Jones and Van Dam in the backfield as Sipe pump fakes. Pressure covers backside. He's going to go down. Derek Genko in there with the sack. 3rd and long coming up.
Coverage held up long enough for Indianapolis to get in there and get the sack, which puts up a long 3rd down. So it'll be interesting to see how Mexico City decides to do this. They're probably going to have to try to pick it up in the air. And for the most part, Indianapolis has been really good at covering the ball, but Jordan Sipe has found certain plays where he can get the ball to people. So this is one of the times where he might need to do that again.
Just a short loss backs them up to about the 24. Play action again for Sipe. Rolls out. He's going to fire it near the goal line, and it's going to be caught near the 5 by Terrell Cooper, and that'll be a 1st and goal for Mexico City.
You guys know the saying, big-time players make big-time plays? Well, on a 3rd and long, Jordan Sipe got the play he needed right over a Rambler defender, straight into the hands of his receiver to put it looks like they are at, what, about the 6-yard line? I think...
Yep, looks like about 6, yep.
Yep, now focus on your running game and put it in the end zone.
1st and goal from the SFL red zone. Loaded backfield here for the Aztecs. Jones with the carry, but Indy was ready for it as they knock him back for a huge loss back to the 10.
Got 2 more tries to put it in the end zone, so they can figure out what they can do. Obviously, Indianapolis is starting to tighten up on the run.
Officially spotted at the 8-yard line, so a loss of 2 on the play. Another handoff to Jones. He dives ahead for a short gain as Scarborough was in there on the stop. Brings up 3rd and goal.
As the field shrinks, it gets a lot harder to make plays. So that's good news for Indianapolis as they tighten up on the running game. See what Mexico City decides to pull out of the bag of tricks on 3rd down.
Nearing the end of the opening quarter of play, 7-0 your score off of the pick 6 for Indy. Sipe play action, fires end zone, get the end zone, touchdown, Terrell Cooper.
This is a really good back-to-form drive for Sipe. He's been making all the right throws at all the right times and able to find his receiver in the back of the end zone, which really good for Mexico City to bring them back into this game. Gives them an opportunity to tie the game with a field goal.
So we'll see Chaz Blackwater for the first time. And he does add the extra points and make it a 7-7 ball game. So Mexico City having all sorts of issues on their first couple possessions, throwing a pick 6 and an interception. Then goes on a 15-play, 75-yard drive, capped off with that passing touchdown to Terrell Cooper in the back of the end zone and evens up the ball game.
I know that Mexico City's had 2 picks so far, but honestly, 7-7 at the end of the first quarter, it's back to square one for both teams.
Banfield with the return, and he's going to make it out past the 25. Actually, they'll mark him right down at the 25-yard line. That's where Indy will take over for their second possession. Mexico City's defense looked pretty good, holding them to a 3-and-out on their only offensive possession of the first quarter, Marcus.
Yeah, we really haven't gotten to see too much of the Indianapolis offense yet. I'm really curious to see what they can do with a little more time on the field.
Coming back out with the I formation, Harleman at fullback. Collin to throw into coverage and incomplete, but there is a penalty marker down. Might have had a defender get there a little bit too early. And they will get Jeffrey Daggs on the defensive pass interference. That'll be a fresh set of downs.
Yep. So that would be the first throw of the game for Indianapolis. Unfortunate for Mexico City to be a little too close to the defender and make contact before the ball. I'm excited to see, though, what Indianapolis can do with their receiving core.
Coming out with 2 of those receivers in this formation, offset I. Mexico City coming out in man coverage, it looks like. Handoff goes to Pierce, and he'll get a gain of 4 on the play. Brings up second down.
I think Indianapolis has been watching Mexico City play while the Indianapolis offense is on the sideline, and they think to themselves, you know what, it might be smarter to keep the ball on the ground. Safety first.
Probably the last play of the opening quarter here. Another handoff goes to Christian Pierce. He's got some room at the middle of the field, and he'll get close to midfield. And a fresh set of downs when the second quarter comes a call-in. We have hit the end of one here in Indianapolis, as we have a 7-7 score. Pick 6 on one end for Indy. Mexico City with a long drive and a passing touchdown on their end. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill, Ramos Lynn, and Eddie Gage in the stats truck for us this afternoon for the opening game of Week 2 in Season 21. High formation for the Ramblers. Mexico City anticipating the run. We'll see if they get it. Instead, it'll be a Pierce pass. He's going to loft one, and that's incomplete. He's looking for a receiver on the far sideline, just a little bit too far for him.
It looked like kind of miscommunication on the receivers. Neither of them knew quite where that ball was going. It went over the head of one receiver and almost landed at another. I think Indianapolis wasn't quite sure who was supposed to go for the ball, and it ended up hitting the ground instead.
Randy Pierce, the closest receiver in the vicinity, and that could have gone the other way easily, as Dexter Jackson almost came away with, probably could have been a pick 6, Marcus.
And on the other hand of that, the Ramblers had a receiver with nobody standing next to him. If that ball had gone over the defender and Indianapolis has caught it, that receiver would have had plenty of yardage straight down the field because there's nobody next to him.
So now 3rd and long. Colin Pierce from the gun. Pressure coming immediately, backing up. Throws it, and he's got a man over the middle of the field for a fresh set of downs. He finds Jay Viper, the third season man.
That pressure from Mexico City made him throw the ball a little bit earlier than he wanted to. Luckily, he had just enough time for his receiver to get separation for that football. If he had had to throw that ball any earlier, I'm sure that would have been a pass deflection for Mexico City.
Definitely a good defensive play call for Mexico City. Colin Pierce just pulled a rabbit out of his hat and ended up with a huge completion into Mexico City territory as they come out with a fresh set of downs from about 35. Pitch play goes to Christian Pierce, avoiding defenders, and eventually gets dragged down after a gain of 7. We'll toss it on over to SFL HQ. We've got a game break. Commissioner Cameron Irvine, what do we got?
Thanks, Eric. Getting back into the swing of things here at SFL headquarters. How about Jacksonville and Motor City? Scoreless in the first quarter. 3rd and goal at the goal line. Motor City almost had the goal line stand, but instead Sean Sanders gets in. 7-0 Jacksonville in the first. Motor City in the red zone. Back to you guys in Indianapolis.
Thank you, Cam, as Christian Pierce gets another handoff. This for first down yardage inside the 20 in the SFL red zone we go.
Definitely working on the running game. That's definitely what both teams are really preferring so far in this game, is keeping the ball on the ground and keeping out of the hands of the defenders on the other team. Little by little, they're slowly marching down the field, all the way down to, it looks like, the 17-yard line.
3 and out on their opening offensive possession. Much better drive here as Colin is going to sidearm it towards the near sideline for a short gain off of the Ryan Roosevelt catch. We'll get a look at the Aztec defense here quickly. Ziggy Blaylock, Skylar Kingsley, Bernard Patterson, and Dan Tritz along the front 4. Dexter Jackson, Wolf Highwind, John Fowler, and Matthew Alvarado are the linebackers. Gerard Brody, Liam Ryan, Antoine Joe are the corners. Jeffrey Daggs, Hall of Famer, and Ben Charbs are the safeties. Hand off to Christian again. Trying to find some room, but Mexico City is all over it. He'll get nothing, and he'll like it, and that brings up a 3rd and 5.
Well, Mexico City has let up a few runs. They definitely have been putting Indianapolis into these 3rd down spots, and so far Indianapolis has been doing a pretty good job of converting them. However, if they want to keep putting pace for points, they're going to have to try to do it again.
Pierce shuffles in the pocket, has time, going to sling it, end zone, picked off. Mexico City with their first turnover of the ball game, and that's courtesy of Liam Ryan snatching it out of the hands of the intended receiver.
He snatched that right out of the air, I was impressed. I thought for sure that was going over his head. I didn't think he had enough to jump up and get that, but he certainly proved me wrong, which gives Mexico City a great opportunity here where they don't let Indianapolis get any points. You know, best case scenario besides that interception was that they probably kicked a field goal and now they have a chance to take the lead.
And that was a rocket of a pass there. That's the nice hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your Play It in it. SFL 4K 23. As Sipe going to roll out. He's going to fire it into coverage and incomplete. I think Jordan was feeling a little saucy there after that interception and wanted to get all those yards back.
You know, you can't make major progress without a few risks. And he's like, I'll take the risk. I'll throw it down the field. Because if we can make those catches, it'll put our offense way ahead. So, as a quarterback, I respect the risk-taking that some gunslingers have in the league.
And that's coming from a gunslinger mentality yourself. Sipe, again to throw. Wide open man, just overthrew him just a skosh there. That was, he was intending his throw for Nick Lockett, but it's going to bring up 3rd down.
I think Sipe's got to rein in his footballs a little bit. I think he's putting a little too much power on too many of his throws, which are going past his receivers. I think if he lets up a little bit, he'll find it'll be a little bit easier to hit his receivers, and they'll start picking up some more yardage through the air.
Blitz coming, play action. Sipe going to throw, outstretched fingertip grab, incomplete, but there is a penalty marker down. And I think they're going to get Indianapolis for pass interference, so that'll move the chains for Mexico City.
I guess any way you can get the yards, penalty yards are yards, so good for Mexico City. They don't have to worry about giving the ball back to Indianapolis quite yet, and they get another chance to keep moving down the field.
That was a bit of a bang-bang play as well. I'm not sure if that warranted a flag, but nonetheless, that ends up being a fresh set of downs for the Aztecs. Now setting up from just past the 30-yard line. Type to throw again. Fires it. Intercepted again. That's 3 interceptions now, all to different members of this Rambler secondary, as Jack Russell, the former London Knight, comes away with the pick.
Unfortunately for Mexico City, this is looking like an offensive repeat from last week, where a little too dangerous with the football through the air is starting to slow them down a little bit, which is going to make it more difficult as the game goes on.
So now Indy set up in good field position here from the Mexico City 34-yard line. Handoff goes to Christian Pierce, trying to find some room, churning his legs, and gets past the 30, probably to about the 29-yard line. And their last drive cut short with that interception there, which was basically a highway robbery by the corner, Liam Ryan. So we'll see if they can improve upon that here, Marcus. Offset eye for Indy this time around. Handoff goes to Christian again, trying to find some room, still moving his legs, but eventually brought down by Dags. That'll bring up a 3rd and short.
Well, if they can't pick up the first down, they can try to make positioning better for their kick, because Indianapolis needs to come away with points in this drive. They were so close to getting points in the last drive and ended up throwing a pick. So this, I think, is their goal, is just to make sure they can put points on the board from this drive.
They've got the tackle, Chad Rowland, in at fullback. We'll see if they go that way for him in this short yardage situation. Handoff does go to Rowland, but everybody was ready for it there. There were 3 or 4 Mexico City defenders that were waiting to bring the big man down. Gerard Brody finally ropes him down, and that's going to be a gain of nothing, 4th and 3.
Mexico City's defense is playing strong, making sure that they keep their offense in the game as this continues down the stretch. Fantastic plays by the Mexico City defense this drive and the last one.
And the field goal is up and through from Topher Kiefer, so that'll give Indianapolis the lead once again by 3 points. 10-7 your score now as we get a look at the field goal.
You know, there's only one thing that comes to mind after the convention last week when you see a field goal like that is, yeah, special teams!
Ain't that the truth?
God bless Cliff Allen.
That was probably one of the better portions of the convention broadcast, was hearing Cliff yell that every time. Short kickoff goes to Dags. Fields it at about his 5, trying to find some room, and he'll make it out to about the 30-yard line. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. First and 10 now for Mexico City, offside eye. Sipe will throw again over the middle. Catch is made by Henry, and he'll get a gain of 8 on first down.
You know, after 3 picks, I would kind of expect Mexico City to slow down through the air, but they're coming out saying, you know what, we're going to make this work, and I respect that.
Still unsure of the status of Ray Bentley, who went out with an injury earlier in the ball game. So Phoenix Jones, the lone running back that they've been using. And Jones will get the carry, and he will get first down yardage out across the 40-yard line.
Great job for Jones. He got contacted behind the line of scrimmage and was able to drag the defender past the first down marker to pick up the yards he needed. He knew he needed to get there, and he kept his feet moving until he made it past the line.
Inside of 5 to go. Defensive shift along the front 4 for Indy. Stipe takes the snap, delayed handoff, goes to Jones, and he'll only get a couple out of the deal. Brings up second down.
I think even though Mexico City has struggled a bit so far on offense, we only have a 3-point game and we're getting a little closer to halftime. Mexico City is still completely within range of taking over this game. You know, even with 3 picks, they're still right here, and that's a big thanks to their defense.
Blitz coming. Jones with the pitch. Good stiff arm there. Gets himself a little bit of extra room. First down yardage and more for Phoenix Jones.
Not only was that a great stiff arm, but it was a fantastic block, too, to set up running around the outside. Otherwise, he would have had an extra defender to deal with. So that gives them great field position, on the opposite side of the 50 as they continue to move the sticks and continue to move the drive as the clock kicks down closer and closer to halftime.
Great run by the season 17 All-Star there. 8 seasons, all with Mexico City. Mexico City trying to avoid only their second 0-2 start. Down by 3 here, under 4 to go. Sipe to throw. Over the middle, catch made. Henry, good stiff arm there, but he fumbles the football. Thankfully, Bartley is there to pick it up, and he will have it at the 30-yard line. That was the epitome of a bang-bang play, Marcus.
There was a lot of stuff going on in that play. I thought, oh my gosh, that was a great throw and a great catch. And then the fumble, I'm like, oh my God, where's that ball? And Mexico City was right there to pick it up. So thankfully for them, it did get turned over to Indianapolis. But they just need to work on keeping the ball in the hands of their players so far in this game.
Sipe again to throw. Pocket collapsing, gets rid of it to Henry once again, and he'll get a gain of 4 on the play.
You kind of want to keep an eye on the clock because you want to score, but you want to take as much time off the clock so you don't give Indianapolis a chance to respond before halftime.
Both teams all 3 timeouts as Jones gets the carry. He'll get close to first down yardage, and forward progress will give him the first down as we are under 3 to go here in Indy.
This is where I think you slow it down a little bit. You take the time off the clock. You enjoy your time running the ball, have a coffee, and get to the end zone.
Everyone loves a good cup of joe. Sipe. Going to sling it over to his fullback, Van Dam, who steps out of bounds after a gain of 2. That'll freeze the clock at 2:31.
I think Mexico City is doing what they need to. They know that they want to either tie the game with a field goal or get that touchdown before half. So I think they're playing a little more conservative football now to make sure that they can make it more competitive in the second half by making it a closer game.
Jones trying to find some room. We'll get close to the line to gain. 3rd and 2 from the SFL red zone as we approach the 2-minute warning here in the first half. 10-7 the score. Indianapolis with a slim lead, but Mexico City is driving. We'll see how this all turns out here. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Eric Vinson, Marcus Dunhill here with you. Ramos Lynn and Eddie Gage in the stats truck. I formation, 3rd and short for Mexico City. Handoff to Jones. First down yardage and more as he gets stopped at about the 7. 1st and goal for Mexico City.
Mexico City has been incredibly consistent on the running game. They have been moving the ball very efficiently. They have not fumbled on the running game. And I think they are really, really doing a great job with their running game and their game plan so far.
Mexico City averaging close to 6 yards a play here in the first half. Indy only averaging 3.7 as Jones gets another carry. And that's going to be a gain of about maybe a yard.
This is where you got to figure out how can you make it past this defense. The field is shortened, and you got to figure out how to do more with less yardage.
Delayed handoff. Jones burying a defender there. And Mexico City will finally burn a timeout. They will have 2 remaining. I thought for sure he was going to get himself into the end zone off of lowering his shoulder there, Marcus.
I did too. There was yardage in front of him, but Indianapolis did a fantastic job converging on him and making sure he didn't make it to the goal line.
From just outside the 2-yard line, Sipe to throw. In the middle, touchdown, Mexico City, and they will take the lead for the first time this afternoon.
Great job of Sipe. This is really some redemption for him. He's had a couple interceptions, but now he gets to put a touchdown on the board and put his team ahead. So, good play for Sipe, waiting to see when somebody came open and found a little bit of open space right in the middle of the end zone to get the ball to his receiver.
Definitely a great rebound drive for Sipe. He's had 3 interceptions this afternoon, but now 2 touchdown passes, completing over 60% of his passes. As Blackwater adds the extra point, 14-10 now your score, 1:07 to go. Indy with all 3 timeouts. So we'll see what they want to do here. They do get the football to start the second half as well.
It's all about how aggressive you want to be. You look at that minute and say, hey, do I want to go for that field goal? Or should we rest our players and come back in the second half?
13-play, 72-yard drive, capped off with that 2-yard passing touchdown to Jason Bartley. As Banfield takes a knee in the end zone, that'll bring the football out to the 20-yard line. 80 yards to go for Indy to retake the lead before the half. And they will come out in an offset eye. Handoff goes to Christian, who gets maybe a yard on the play. And it looks like Indy might be ready to go ahead and just let the clock trickle out here. Again with an offset eye for Indy. Collin gonna throw, airs it out, tipped, and the catch is made near the 40-yard line. And of course, Indy gonna call a timeout there following that incredible catch off of the deflection.
That is incredible commitment to playing the ball. You see it got tipped, but you said, hey, you know what? I can still catch it. And that's exactly what Indianapolis did. You know, sometimes receivers will see that it got tipped and they'll just kind of give up on the play. But that's how you move the ball down the field, is you never give up on plays.
Collin again going to throw it over the middle. Catch is made, and it'll be a second and very, very short as Indy calls their second timeout, 1 remaining.
Kind of curious to see exactly what they want to do here. They have a little bit of time left, and they're not too far out of field goal range. They need probably about 20 more yards to kick a field goal.
Collin to throw, and that's going to be incomplete. We're going to toss it on over to SFL HQ for a game break while we have a stoppage. Commissioner Cameron Irvine, what we got? I thought it was wild seeing Chad Rowland, the tackle, line up at fullback, which we're getting on this play here. Thank you, Cam. Play action for Collin as he throws it over the middle. Catch is made near the 45-yard line, and Indy will burn their final timeout with 24 seconds to go.
Now you got to start playing the sidelines since you don't have any timeouts left. If you keep the ball in, you got to hurry. I would expect them to start looking at where they can place that ball down the sideline.
Colin to throw. One-handed grab there by Ryan Roosevelt, and Indy will hurry to the line to get this thing spiked. Clocked at 13 seconds there, just inside of the 30-yard line. They might be in field goal range here, Marcus.
Yep. As I said, you try to play the sidelines, but if you have a shot, you take your shot. You know, you need the yards, so you just go down the field.
Roland lining up at fullback once again, and he's going to shift offset. Hand off to Christian, bottled up in the backfield, nowhere to go. And that is pretty much going to do it there. Indy with no chance to stop the clock. And it's just going to hit 000. So a disappointing end to a promising drive towards the end of that first half, as Mexico City has a 14-10 lead over the Indianapolis Ramblers. As we'll get a look at the first half stats and highlights, Marcus, like I said, a little bit of disappointing end there to that final drive for Indy.
Yeah, but they get the ball back, like you said, so I think they're just looking for their opportunities and working out some of their passing and running. It's been a really good game so far. Despite the interceptions by both teams, it's really stayed pretty close. It's anybody's game as we go into the second half.
Yeah, 3 first-half interceptions for Jordan Sipe, but he's rebounded nicely with 2 touchdowns through the air of his own. Mexico City outgaining Indianapolis 208-114 in the offensive department. As it looks like Cooper coming out with 4 catches in that first half there. Gets a touchdown snag. And it's a 14-10 score in favor of Mexico City. But Indy getting the second half kickoff here, so we'll have to see how they respond with their opening possession. Mexico City's defenses look very, very good. Indy, the only touchdown on the board for them is off of that pick 6 in the opening quarter.
I think Indianapolis needs to figure out how they can get their team into the end zone on offense. Other than that, I think both teams are running pretty efficiently. Mexico City just needs to worry about ball security through the air a little bit, and they both tighten up in those aspects, and I think you have a great second half to look forward to.
Banfield with the return there. And Ryan Roosevelt has been a little bit quiet here today as well. He had almost 200 yards receiving just a week ago. But today, he's only got 3 catches for 34 yards. So Mexico City holding him in check as the Ramblers set up shop at the 30-yard line. Handoff goes to Christian, trying to find some room, gets close to the line to gain, and forward progress will give him the first down.
Perfect blocking, just enough to get them to the first down marker. I like Indianapolis coming out and pounding the run to get started in the second half here. They have plenty of time and plenty of opportunities. They just need to move cautiously down the field to get some points.
From about the 41-yard line, Colin will throw. He's going to check it down to Christian. Lowers his shoulder and escorts himself out of bounds after a gain of 6 on the play.
Got to do what works. So far, they've got 53 yards running on in the ground game. They just keep trucking along.
Pierce under center, sends Roosevelt in motion. Handoff goes to Christian. Good hurdle there. Gets close to first down yardage. Turns his legs and carries defenders with him. And he will get the first down just past midfield.
So far, this whole drive has been dominated by the running game for Indianapolis, and it's working for him. It's doing great. 58 yards, 13 attempts, 4.5 yards per carry for Christian Pierce.
And they'll continue to go to him on this drive as he bounces it off tackle. He'll get maybe a couple on that play as that brings up second down.
Eventually, you're going to have to start looking at opening it up through the air again. But I'm sure they're pretty happy to continue to do what's working for them.
I mean, with a close game, you stick with what you know. And this team does like to run the football. At least that appears what the offensive game plan is here today, as Pierce is going to throw it into traffic and incomplete. He was looking for Viper.
The thing about the running game for Indianapolis so far is that 29 of the 60 rushing yards so far for Pierce has come after first contact, so almost half his yards come from after being contacted. That's how well he's doing moving the ball and getting through defenders.
Pierce to throw, good pocket. Airs one out far sideline. Roosevelt makes the catch. And Ryan was curious about it in the chat. He was asking, did we not see that last drive? Oh, we saw you. We saw you, big fella.
Roosevelt's definitely going to get more targets in the second half. I think they're just waiting to keep him fresh down the sidelines, let him get those big plays. Don't tire him out too quickly.
3 seasons here in Indy, season 20 All-Star there, makes the grab. His 4th of the afternoon. Fresh set of downs from the 30-yard line of Mexico City. Handoff goes to Christian. Good stiff arm there, but it gets maybe 4 or 5 yards on the play. Ends up being second down.
It was a great tackle by Mexico City. You see the stiff arm and you weren't sure if they were going to be able to get him, but great job keeping the running back in check and pulling Pierce to the ground.
High formation, handoff goes to Christian, churning his legs and getting first down yards. We've seen a lot of that from Christian Pierce this afternoon, and he gets another first down. Into the SFL red zone we go.
Christian Pierce got to the first down marker, and there was an offensive and defensive lineman in front of him, so he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to push them both past the marker so I can get the first down.
Handoff again, and Pierce this time goes nowhere. Mexico City was ready for that one as Dexter Jackson and company gets in there for the stop.
I think overall the Mexico City defense is doing a really good job. They are letting up a few of the runs, but they're definitely making stops when they need to.
Over 3.5 minutes chewed up by this Indy drive as Colin going to air it out. End zone incomplete. Looking for Ryan Roosevelt, but good defense there by Mexico City. And that brings up third down.
A little bit too tight of a window to make that pass, and I'm not sure if Roosevelt was quite in the place he needed to be to catch that ball, but good on Mexico City to making sure that stayed out of his hands.
Indy 3 of 6 on third downs this afternoon, 3rd and 11. Colin retreating, gonna fire it. Catch is made. First down inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. Banfield makes the grab.
It's exciting. I love watching Indianapolis. They got they're starting to figure it out through the air as well as on the ground, finding space open in the defense. Looks like lost one of the Mexico City defenders and found some open space in the middle of the field to make the catch.
Colin hasn't thrown the football a ton this afternoon, but he's done well when he has, relying heavily on Christian to run the football. Now it's 1st and goal. Handoff goes to Christian, and he'll rumble ahead for a short gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Only second down, plenty of time, plenty of space. Just pick up, 2-3 yards, and you're right in the end zone.
They've had a few opportunities at the red zone here this afternoon. One a field goal, the other an interception right around this area of the football field. Christian with the carry, and he's going to dive for the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers.
I'm not at all surprised to see Indianapolis sticking with what's working. They've kind of figured out the running game on this particular drive, so they knew they had an opportunity to get Pierce in the end zone. He just was able to find some space on the inside left side of the field and get into the end zone for them to take the lead.
A very long, methodical drive for Indy. 13 plays, 68 yards, 8 run plays on that drive, and they chew up just about half of the third quarter's clock, retaking a 3-point lead. Now available, free to download. You can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K23 in the palm of your hand. Order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com, search SFL, and download our mod at simulationfl.net/4K23. Retroid, the official console of the SFL. Jeffrey Daggs with the return across the 25 to about the 28-yard line, and Mexico City will get their first crack at the football in the third quarter.
Nice little return by Daggs, getting up to the 28, giving them slightly better field position than most teams that might start on the 20.
So we'll see just how warm this Mexico City offense is after sitting on the sidelines for about 4.5 minutes, of the third quarter, as Van Dam gets the carry, plunges ahead for about 40 yards.
I think we saw near the end of the last quarter that Jordan Sipe is starting to warm up, so I would expect maybe later in the drive some more aggressive throws from him.
Handoff goes to Phoenix Jones. Still no Ray Bentley as he left earlier in the first half of play. So Phoenix Jones getting the brunt of the carries, and he'll get a first down.
Phoenix Jones is certainly a capable back. 14 carries for 62 yards. He also has 27 yards after contact, which is great, which means he's picking up most of his yards after contact as well as Indianapolis.
Sipe to throw. Open man is Bill Henry for first down yardage into Indianapolis territory just past midfield.
Sipe right now has a 63% completion percentage, and I expect that to go up as we continue through this game. He's starting to figure out exactly where he needs to put the ball for his receivers, and I think we'll see a much better second half out of Sipe through the air.
First and 10 now from the 48. Sipe to throw again. Good pocket. Open man is Bill Henry, and he could not reel it in. That falls to the turf, incomplete.
Again, a little too much heat from Sipe's passes. I think his receivers are having a hard time getting the hand on him because he's finding receivers. He's hitting them in the hands, but I think he's just putting a little too much power on this football.
Handoff goes to the fullback, Van Dam. Avoiding defenders, dragging defenders, getting first down yardage. A rumbling, tumbling, stumbling run by Buford Van Dam.
You know, when you get injuries, it's always next man up. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're replacing somebody that went down with an injury, it's your job to step up and try to contribute in their place. And that's exactly what's happened so far from Mexico City. While we love Ray Bentley and hope he gets back soon, Mexico City has really still been able to move the ball in his absence.
Empty set for Sipe. Takes the snap. Floats one over to Henry for a short gain. It was great coverage out there by Adam Wiseman, the outside linebacker, former Denver Nightwing.
Defense from Indianapolis has been good. They have gotten a couple interceptions so far off of Sipe. I expect them to lock down a little bit as this drive continues.
Sipe again to throw. Throws off his back foot. Somehow completes it. A falling Jason Bartley makes the catch for first down yardage as we creep inside of 3 minutes to go in the third.
It's interesting to watch this play because there is a great spot right in the middle of 3 defenders, and as soon as the ball was thrown, all the 3 defenders looked back and said, "Uh-oh." They all dove for the football to see if they could get a hand on it, but a great throw from Sipe picks up a first down for Mexico City.
And off his back foot, too. It just threw it right to where his receiver needed to be, and a completion as Van Dam gets another carry, and he'll rumble for about 3 yards there.
That's the thing about quarterbacks. It doesn't matter how hard a throw is. If they see a throw and they think they can make it, they're going to take a shot at it. And that's how you see the great quarterbacks make amazing plays.
Jones with the carry, and again, Wiseman getting in there for the stop. Loss of maybe 1 on the play, and he's been all over the football field here this afternoon.
They're definitely tightening up on the running game as they get closer and closer to the end zone. Now Mexico City is stuck with a 3rd and 7. They got to figure out how they're going to convert this.
Play action by Sipe. Pressure coming, pump fakes. Pressure from his backside, he's going to go down. 2nd sack today for Derek Genko, and that brings up 4th down.
The coverage from Indianapolis gave them enough time to get to the quarterback. It looked like Sipe thought maybe he could make a throw, but there just was too good of coverage downfield, and Sipe had nowhere to go with the football.
So a 42-yard field goal attempt is what's going to come of that play. Chaz Blackwater out there to attempt. Good snap. It is up, and it is through from 42 yards, and that knots the game back up at 17.
Well, it's certainly not ideal for Mexico City. I think tying up the game is definitely a win, as they were playing from behind when it comes to interceptions and moving down the field. It just seemed like they were a little bit behind Indianapolis, so they're able to catch back up, and there's still plenty of time for them to dominate this football game.
Viper with the return. Good spin move there, and he'll make it out past the 30 to the 31-yard line. 11-play, 45-yard drive capped off with the 42-yard field goal by Chaz Blackwater. And Marcus, we touched on this a little bit. Both of these teams had disastrous Week 1 outings. Indianapolis allowing 69 total points. Mexico City only coming up with 3 points on offense. Both these teams have responded well this week.
Absolutely. You still kind of see some of the issues that they had last week, but they're certainly working themselves out. 17 points on offense from Mexico City is a lot better than they did last week. So week by week, they're getting better and getting better.
1:21 to go in the third. Handoff goes to Christian Pierce, and he'll get maybe a couple out of the play. Brings up 2nd down.
This game so far really has been dominated by the rushing attack for Indianapolis. They have almost as many rushing yards as passing yards.
We'll see if they go back to the ground game here with Christian. Pitch play goes his way. Good stiff arm on Jeffrey Dax. He's out in the open field past the 40 to the 35-30. And he's past midfield, into enemy territory, just shy of about the 45-yard line of Mexico City.
That's probably one of the best runs of the day so far from Indianapolis. And to clarify my comments from before, I just mean that it's way easier to pick up yards through the air than it is to pick up yards on the ground. So when you have a game that's so focused on the ground game and you're starting to eclipse the yards through the air, then it really just shows how focused and determined you are to pound the rock on the ground.
A 20-yard rumble by Christian Pierce, easily his best run of the day. Sets Indy up with a fresh set of downs in Mexico City territory with under 30 seconds to go in the third. They go back to Christian, and Mexico City ready for it this time around. Wolf Highwind and company able to bring him down, and that'll probably be the end of the third quarter, Marcus.
Yep, they're probably just going to let that tick down all the way to the end of the third.
And there it is. Everybody get your fours up in the chat. We got one more quarter to go. 17-17 ball game. Indianapolis and Mexico City. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Eric Benson alongside Marcus Dunhill in the broadcast booth. Ramos Lynn and Eddie Gage in the stats truck. Commissioner, executive producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine at SFL HQ as Colin Pierce throws a dangerous pass there. And it looks like Matthew Alvarado, the outside linebacker, got his mitts on it.
Anytime you see a player jump up and get the ball, it's a little bit scary because oftentimes the receivers are not being defended. So it's all or nothing on the football. So you really have to be sure you're going to get your hands on that ball.
Four wide on 3rd and 9. Collins shuffles in the pocket. Sets his feet, plants, throws. Near sideline catch is made by Roosevelt. At about the 25-yard line, that'll be a fresh set of downs for the Ramblers.
Roosevelt and Pierce making big plays. You see from this replay, Pierce was able to stop, plant his feet, and make a throw right to Roosevelt, who stopped and waited for the football. As we saw, the defender went a little bit further, thinking they were going to keep running with it. And Roosevelt knew exactly where to stand to get that football from Pierce to make a great play down the sideline.
From the 24, pitch goes to Christian, who's trying to find some room, and he'll get nothing out of it. Maybe a yard, but Jeffrey Daggs coming up and making the stop.
So far, we've had a fantastic game from both teams. Both offenses have made a couple mistakes, and both defenses have been looking great. But both teams continue to run the ball really well. They're both passing the ball well as well. And so far, I think going into the fourth quarter, we have a fantastic game for these two teams.
Christian still moving his legs and trying to find real estate through that sea of humanity, and he'll get close to first down yardage. 3rd and 1 coming up here.
Closer and closer they get to the end zone. I think that although Indianapolis has made some great passes through the air, I think their priority is still going to be the ground game, as you saw 108 yards for Pierce on the ground. And at 3rd and 1, I would expect them to keep chipping away at the running game.
Christian will get just enough, actually more, for the first down. As he gets close to the 10-yard line, they mark him down just outside the 10, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 11.
This is where you really start opening up the playbook. You try to mix up some passing plays, throw them off, see if you can sneak one into the end zone.
Instead, keeping it on the ground, Christian does get the corner, and he's going to get the end zone too. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Well, whatever works. If it's your running game, it's your running game. Pierce has really, really been dominating. He took that run to the outside, and nobody could catch him.
It looked from our vantage point that he might have gotten snatched from behind there, but the diving attempt by John Fowler was all for naught, and there was no one ahead of Christian Pierce as he got the corner of the end zone and got the 6 points.
That's why he's been able to pick up so many yards after hit. He's just a powerful runner. He doesn't let people pull him down too easily.
Over 100 yards on the ground for Christian Pierce as he adds his 2nd touchdown of the ball game to his stat sheet. 9 plays, 67 yards, 11-yard rushing touchdown by Christian Pierce.
Time to see how Mexico City wants to respond. I think I would guess they're probably going to try to pick up some yardage through the air on this drive.
It's like the return by the wide receiver, Nick Lockett, and that ends up being just shy of the 30-yard line to the 27. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. First and 10, 8:05 to go here in regulation. Mexico City down by 7. Van Dam with the carry. He's been active in the run game with the absence of Ray Bentley, and he rolls over close to the line to gain. 2nd and inches coming up.
So far, Mexico City has 119 yards in the rushing game and 153 yards in the passing game. So while they primarily picked up most of their yards in the rushing game, in the passing game, they are not abandoning the run, and they're still continuing to mix it up, and it's working to great success so far.
26 yards on the ground for Buford Van Dam as Jones moving the pile with his legs. He's still on his feet. He almost gets free, but he is going to get enough for the first down. A heck of a run there, and looked like it could have gone for a heck of a lot more, Marcus.
Good thing for forward progress, because he made it past and then got pushed back towards the line of scrimmage a little bit. But obviously with the forward progress, he was able to pick up the first down, which is good.
Sipe going to throw, finds a crosser over the middle. Terrell Cooper, first down yardage and more. And he'll get out across the 50 into enemy territory.
Sipe was definitely protected. A block was picked up in the back in which it probably could have been a sack for Indianapolis, but it gave Sipe enough time to make the throw.
Some defensive shifts here for Indianapolis. Single back is Jones. Sipe, blitz coming. Wide open man towards the top of the formation. And no one is going to even sniff Terrell Cooper as he hits the end zone for a touchdown. What's the flag? And a roughing the passer to boot, so that'll be declined, and Mexico City will have possibly their easiest touchdown I think I have ever seen.
You know, as soon as the ball was snapped, the first thing I thought was, wow, that's a lot of pressure coming from Indianapolis. And then when they threw the ball, I'm like, oh, that's why there's so much pressure, because there's nobody downfield. Great opportunity for Mexico City, for Sipe to see, okay, I'm going to get rushed, but I have an opportunity to throw the ball, and that's exactly what they did. Straight to the end zone.
It was a cover 0 audible that got called by the defense of Indianapolis, and just the wrong call at the wrong time. Sipe was calm, cool, collected, and fired the pass over to his receiver towards the far sideline, and that ended up being an easy touchdown for Mexico City as they knot things back up, now at 24.
You know, when you call a play like that, you need to get to the quarterback or they're going to make you pay for it.
Viper with the return, and he's going to get past the 30, still on his feet. Gets close to the 35-yard line to the 34. Hats off to Eddie Gage for that call there, coming from the stats truck. Always in my ear, giving me saucy stats. And we'll see how Indy responds now. 6.5 minutes to go in regulation. All tied up at 24. It's been a real back-and-forth ball game. Both of these games in this first block of games have been fantastic, as it's 28-all between Jacksonville and Motor City over in the first half of their ball game. So it's very, very interesting to see how week 2 is shaping out early on, as Christian Pierce is chased down by Dexter Jackson, and that'll be a gain of 4 on the play.
As fun and exciting as it is to watch these teams going back and forth, putting up points, somebody's going to eventually run out of time, which is where their offense needs to score and their defense needs to put an exclamation point on this game for either team to come away with this one.
Christian with another carry, Dags with another stop, and Alvarado was also in the area there, brings up 3rd and 4.
At 3rd and 4, you really have an open playbook. You could make a short pass or a medium pass, or you could put the ball in the hands of your running back or fullback to try to pick up the first down, because 4 yards is definitely possible on the ground as well.
Colin instead will throw, pump fakes. He's going to run for it, and he gets knocked down behind the line. A sack by Blaylock. Ziggy Blaylock, the defensive end, gets credit for the sack there, and it's going to be 4th down for Indy.
The pressure was there. He definitely felt like he needed to get out of that pocket and try to run for it, but Mexico City was ready and not going to let him get out of there.
Great job by Ziggy. Yeah, I'm sorry, Marcus. I was just going to say it's a great job by Ziggy to snatch away Jimmy Hayes at the last minute, right when Colin Pierce was ready to make a run for it. So Mexico City will get another crack at the football here at the 27-yard line with just past 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Mexico City did a great job moving the ball in the last drive. A long play for a touchdown on that blitz from Indianapolis. Now it's time for them to try to put more points on the board as we get closer and closer to the end of the game. It's their chance to take the lead here.
Still averaging 6 yards a play thus far, deep into this ball game. So great offensive production after the slow start as Jones gets spun around and helicoptered for a loss of 2. And that was courtesy of Blake Prine coming up and making the stop.
He almost made it out of that, but a good grip by Indianapolis made sure that it was a loss of 2 instead of a gain of about 3 or 4, which he probably would have gotten if he could have gotten away from that tackle.
Van Dam, the lone back. Sipe going to sling it over to him. Good pursuit there by the Indy defense, but Van Dam with some wheels gets himself a good chunk of 8 yards, brings up 3rd and 4.
The much more manageable 3rd down at 3rd and 4, which is the same type of play that Indianapolis faced in the last drive. Let's see what Mexico City decides to do with theirs as well, as they're up to 220 yards passing.
Mexico City 6 of 7 on 3rd downs here this afternoon. Sipe going to convert another one. No, it's incomplete. The hit jarred the football loose. A good hit by Ernest McCray Sr., who had the pick 6 in the 1st quarter, and that forces a 4th down.
This is the part of the game where teams really step up and start making plays. You saw Mexico City step up and force a punt to the last drive, and now Indianapolis responds in the same way, forcing a punt for Mexico City, waiting to see which offense gets the opportunity to take this ball and get some points.
K.L. Barrett Jr. with the punt, and fielded by Banfield. He'll bring it out to the 28-yard line. So now both offenses stall as we get deeper into the 4th quarter, now with only 4.5 minutes to play. All tied up at 24, Marcus. It makes things juicy.
You never quite know what's going to happen. They could run the ball. They could have a long pass. Mexico City could get a turnover. Just about everything is in play for this game so far.
Handoff goes to Christian. He's been very popular here in this second half.
I'm not at all surprised, though. You know, the ground game is really what's working for Indianapolis so far, and you don't want to mix things up quite too much when the game is this close, because one mistake at this point of the game could cost you.
29 carries over 130 yards here for Christian, and he's going to get his 30th carry here, and that is going to go for no gain. 3rd and 6 coming up here. And this is what kind of happens when you have a team that has a feature back, you know, not necessarily a second running back to split the carries with. You start to see a little bit of wear and tear on those running backs as we come up to 3rd and 6. Colin to throw. Pocket good. Receiver in the area over the middle of the field, near midfield, and that's going to be a catch for Banfield.
It's a good pickup for Indianapolis. You have to worry a little bit, when teams start punting back and forth, then you get to the point where you're like, okay, we need to make a play. Where can we make it? And right in the middle of the field was open space for reception.
Clock continuing to tick away here. Just shy of midfield. Collin will throw on first down. Wide open, man. It's going to be towards the top of the formation. Rob Hunt, who has not even sniffed the football today, somehow gets himself wide open and arguably makes the biggest play for Indianapolis this afternoon.
I don't think they're going to complain too much about him, only having one reception if that is the reception he's remembered for in this game. If he gets them down the field, they'll say, thank you for showing up. Thank you for catching the ball. You had a great day.
Into the SFL red zone we go. Pitch play, Christian Pierce trying to find some room off tackle, and he's going to get maybe a yard out of the deal as Alvarado and company were in there for the stop.
With 2 minutes left in the game, you start to worry about the time left on the clock. I know Mexico City needs to stop, and they need to make sure they have enough time for them for their offense to respond as well.
Might be the final play before we hit the 2-minute warning. Collin again to throw. Lofts one, in trouble and incomplete. So we will see one more play as we'll toss it over to SFL HQ for a game update. Cameron Irvine, what we got?
Thanks, Eric. Goofy game going on in Detroit. Nobody playing defense. And Motor City's got another touchdown. Michael Brown to Guy Clausen for the score. 35-28. Motor City leads Jacksonville in the third. Wild game. Jacksonville on the move once again. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam. We've got goofy games galore as Collin wanted Rob Hunt once again towards the back of the end zone. Good defense by the Mexico City secondary, and that brings up a fourth down and a field goal attempt.
You definitely see from Indianapolis good tries on going after the football, even after it's been tipped by Mexico City. But Mexico City really did a good job knocking that ball away so that the receiver could not get that ball in the back of the end zone. Indianapolis has a chance to take the lead here, but then Mexico City can win the game with a field goal or win the game with a touchdown or tie it with a field goal when their offense gets on the field.
Go for Kiefer from 32 yards. It is up, and it is good. A 3-point lead just as we hit the 2-minute warning, as it looks like one of the linebackers is injured on the play, so we'll get a look at him, make sure everything is okay for Mexico City.
Mexico City is going to get the ball back with about 2 minutes left in the game. Yep, exactly 2 minutes when the kick is made. So we'll see exactly how they want to respond and where they think they're going to get their points to win the game.
You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We are live on YouTube. Eric Vincent alongside Marcus Dunhill, Ramos Lynn, and Eddie Gage in the stats truck. And a $1.99 super chat from Mickey Belillo. Yay, special teams. Yeah, we love special teams. Return by number 14, Nick Lockett. Brings it up to about the 23-yard line. Coming up tonight, we've got a jam-packed doubleheader. Kicking off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on SFL YouTube, featuring a rematch of last season's wild card matchup between Minnesota and Alamo City, who both won their season openers. Fort Worth opens the new Stockyard Stadium, trying to go 2-0 against Rookie Type Attack in the unbeaten Nemesis at 9 p.m. Plus Louisiana Canton at 6:30, Sioux Falls, San Diego at 9:15 Eastern Time. Don't miss out, as Sipe is in trouble once again, and he's going to go down. Took a little bit too much time trying to decide where to go, and Butch Menner comes away with the sack.
Great play and great coverage. Sipe was looking for a spot down the field to throw the football, and he just could not get it. That might have been an opportunity for Sipe to break out and try to run for it himself. I think he stood maybe in the pocket a little bit too long, but great work in Indianapolis, not letting him leave the pocket, not letting him get rid of the football.
Clock continuing to roll. Sipe to throw again over the middle. Pass is incomplete. 3rd and 14 coming up.
This is probably going to be the most pivotal play of the game, down 3. You don't want to turn the ball back over to the other team with only 1 minute and 23 seconds left. It's 3rd and 14, and Sipe's going to have to figure out a way to pick this up. He's definitely been good when it mattered. Let's see if he can do it again.
Mexico City has been good on 3rd down this afternoon. 6 of 8 converting 3rd downs. This one a 3rd and long, 2 and 2. Single back is going to be Jones. Play action to him. Sipe rolls out, fires it across his body. 1-on-1 coverage, snatched out of the air, and catch is made by Terrell Cooper for the 1st down.
That is exactly what you need to do when you need to continue a drive, when you need to get points. You get some separation from the people who are rushing you, and you look down the field to see who is open and where you can put the football. I had confidence that Sipe would be able to make a play, and his receiver did as well. That's a perfect job for them to keep this drive going.
Sipe to throw again. Clock still rolling into coverage and incomplete. Kenneth Gaston Jr. could have put the game on ice there, but it falls out of his mitts and hits the turf.
Sipe really needs to keep an eye on that clock because they're still outside of field goal range. They need to make sure they creep up and have enough time to get a field goal if they want to tie the game, as well as look to see where they can take shots down the field.
50 seconds to go, each team with all 3 timeouts. From the 43, Sipe into coverage again and incomplete. Brings up 3rd down.
Mexico City's offense needs to take a breath, but they need to try to get out of these 3rd down situations. They have certainly been a fantastic 3rd down team, but you don't want to keep putting your offense in those situations.
Now another 3rd down for Mexico City. Blitz coming. Play action for Sipe again. He's going to fire it near sideline this time, past the 40. Inside the 40-yard line is Cooper once again, and he has been lethal on this drive on 3rd downs.
Yep. Mexico City, just as a whole, has been incredibly clutch on 3rd down conversions. Got to see Sipe roll out on both 3rd downs and make plays right when it counted.
Van Dam rumbling, throwing defenders to the turf as he gets close to a 1st down. After a gain of 8, clock continuing to roll under 20 seconds. Mexico City not wanting to use their timeouts. Sipe is going to throw one into coverage, and that stops the clock with 10 seconds to go.
Depending on what Mexico City decides to do here, they could go for that tie. You might have 27-27 going into overtime. Everybody who loves football isn't going to say no to a fun overtime game.
We love free extra football. We'll see if we get it here. Another 3rd down on this drive. The Aztecs have converted the previous 2. Sipe will roll out. Sets his feet, gonna fire it, and it's picked off! Indianapolis going back the other way, it's Melodious Manning, and that will ice the game for Indianapolis!
That is the biggest risk you can take in football when there's 10 seconds left and you're in field goal range, is to be throwing the ball. You have to be completely confident that your team can keep the ball in the hands of your players so that you can take a timeout and kick a field goal. But Indianapolis did exactly what they needed to do to pick up that ball and put the ball back in the hands of their offense, up by 3 with only 3 seconds left in the game.
Absolute pandemonium here, as it looked like Mexico City was going to come away with the victory, and instead Jordan Sipe inexplicably throws his 4th interception of the ball game. And that will drop Mexico City to their first 0-2 start since season 10.
It is unfortunate. I think the turnovers for Sipe are really, really rough on Mexico City. It's kind of been what the thorn that's been holding them down a little bit in the last 2 games. But they played so much better than they did last week. They put up 24 points this week instead of the 3 they did last week. the team is improving. They just got to work on the turnovers a little bit, and then you have a scary Mexico City team.
Sunday night on the SFL YouTube, a bitter rivalry is renewed when both Carolina and Baltimore lick their wounds from opening weekend at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time to try to avoid 0-2. Florida takes their talents to Queen City for the Corsairs home opener at 6:45 Eastern Time, before the West Arizona and Denver welcome Tulsa and LA, respectively. Starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, SFL Season 21 is in full swing as we hit the end of the ball game here, a wild one here in Indianapolis, as the Ramblers come away with a 27-24 victory off of that interception from Melodious Manning. Marcus, what are your final thoughts to this wild game, my friend?
My final thoughts is congratulations to Indianapolis getting in the win column. And like I said, Mexico City is a strong team, and they're going to figure it out. It was a lot of good running by both teams, and the passing game for both teams started picking it up in the second half. I think both teams did exceptionally well, and I think both teams played even better than they did last week. And as long as they watch the film, figure out what they did wrong, and continue to improve, these two teams are just going to get better and better as we keep going through the season.
Again, it was a back-and-forth ball game the entire way. Sipe finally looked like he was starting to get his feet out from under him after throwing a bunch of interceptions in the first half. In the first half, I should say. Excuse me. Colin Pierce doing just enough on his end there, throwing an interception of his own. But man, oh man, both of these teams came out and definitely performed much better than they did a week ago. Mexico City will try and lick their wounds moving forward, and Indy moving to 1-1 on this young season. Well, on behalf of Marcus Dunhill, my name is Eric Vinson. I want to thank Ramos Lynn and Eddie Gage and the Stats Truck Force this afternoon, and we look forward to more Week 2 action in Season 21. Good afternoon, everybody.